just wanted to show you my little water ozonation setup. I ozonate my water quite often. Sometimes I'll not do it, but I'd say 80% of the time I'll ozonate my water, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm too busy, I kind of skip it. But this is what I've got here. I bought this off a friend. It's a ozonator and a ionizer built into one. I think it's quite cheap, £50. I also think that the guy that I bought it off, one of my friends, he's got some in stock. So yeah, I'll have to ask him about that. But if you want me to check and you want one, then give me a shout. But I quite like this one personally, because what I can do, because it comes with this handy little add-on, I can put this into the water like this. I can also put it in the bath if I wanted to. I can also pull this out here, and I can just leave it on, and it'll ozonate the room. The other good thing about it is an ionizer, so it puts negative ions into the air, which is also positive for the body. But basically, what I do is I just put the little I don't even know what that's called. I suppose add-on, and then turn it on, and then you got little options here. 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 25, 30. I generally put it on for around 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how long I've got in the house. So put it on for 15 minutes. So that's on for 15 minutes, and then you can see that the water is being ozonated. I did remember when I first started doing this, I started getting healing reactions because of the increase in oxygen. So yeah, if you start feeling a bit weird when you drink it, don't see it as a bad thing, see it as a good thing. It will be a healing reaction. So yeah, that's it. Just wanted to show you that. Cool. Alright, so busy day today. I'm just off to my mum's for a haircut and a shave. Lucky that my mum is an hairdresser, so yeah, just going there. But one thing that made me realise is that I had a bit of a plan today of the things that I wanted to do, and I just couldn't do them because some things take longer than others. Just don't have time. Something comes up, and it just made me realise how in the past I used to be so down and negative if I couldn't get everything done in the day, and kind of used to judge myself about it. And I used to think that in order to be successful and happy, I had to complete loads of things in a day and have a big schedule and all this stuff. But as time's gone on, I've realised a few things that are important. One is try and make your day as smooth and relaxed as possible. Try and set up your life whereby you haven't got loads and loads of things to do. I used to have long lists of things to do, and I used to get burnt out, and I used to pull myself down when I couldn't do them. It's about learning a bit of patience, and things take time to manifest. I used to want my business to just grow overnight, and that's just not how the world works. It takes time and patience, and it's much better to do one thing really good than 10 things in rushed and just not very good at all. So that's just a little insight. I try and prioritize the main things that I need to do in the morning, and the things that are less important, if I don't get them done, I can just put them onto the list in the morning. And it's no big deal. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Happiness and success is not based upon how much you get done in the day. You'll generally find if you end up doing too much, you'll end up getting burnt out. Happiness and success is about being fruitful in many different areas. So you see a lot of people on YouTube or on the internet that are really, really wealthy and they've got amazing businesses, but I can guarantee that they're probably struggling to have good family time, Or you might have someone that's an incredible meditator, but financially struggling. So try not to compare yourself to other people. That's really important as well. Just take your time, enjoy yourself. It's really important to have fun as much as possible. Balance yourself out. Focus on the most important things, and don't get hung up if things don't turn out right. At the end of the day, we're all here to learn. I believe that's one of the biggest things that we're here to do. And whenever obstacles and challenges and negative things happen in our life, I don't think you should get too negative about it. It doesn't mean dull down your emotions towards it too much. Obviously feel grief and pain and sadness, but realize that on a deeper level, it's probably there to move you in a different direction or to learn something about yourself. All right, so yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. All right, guys, I'm sure you're thinking, look at that handsome young man, now he's had an haircut. My mum's done a good job, bless her. It's free of charge as well, which is always good. So multitasking at the moment, busy day. I did write down on my list today that I want to clean up the house, give it a good clean. It's quite a priority for me today, so I am going to do that. So that's what I'm going to do at the moment, but I'm going to multitask and answer some questions at the same time. So the first question is Candida and parasites. How to get rid of it, how long does it take to get rid of it? 2 questions today asking about how long to get rid of things, and that's a difficult question to answer because it's a little bit like how long's a piece of string. Some people are much sicker than others, and it just takes longer to heal basically. But Candida and parasites, these are yin conditions. They thrive in a cold environment. We say that most people who come to us to start a nutritional balancing program are quite yin. They suffer from something called yin disease, which means the body's cold, it's watery, it's spacey, the energy's moving upwards, etc., etc. And you get things like Candida and parasites, other fungi that basically thrive in this cold environment. So in order to get rid of you don't get rid of Candida because it's actually beneficial to the body. It's when it gets overgrown where it becomes a problem. Parasites are obviously, shouldn't be in the body really. But in order to kind of heal that, you need to go yang, which is the opposite of yin. So this includes sonotherapy, coffee enemas, an alkaline-rich diet, rest, downward pushing meditation, etc. Now, one secret to healing Candida and healing parasites as well is you have to heal the adrenal glands. And unfortunately, the adrenal glands don't fix themselves overnight. You're literally rebuilding an organ. And it just takes a long time. The adrenal glands, and this is I'm kind of answering the second question as well, which is about hormonal imbalances. It's kind of the same thing really. But yeah, healing the adrenal glands, it does take a while. You got to think that while you're living your day-to-day life, the adrenal glands does have to be activated. You're going to have natural stresses in your life. There's going to be stresses while you're on the program, maybe a relationship stress, a job stress. There's going to be times when you're feeling scared, where you're up late, where you're eating foods that you shouldn't eat. So literally anything that kind of stresses the adrenal glands, the body has to deal with in real time. So that means that you've got to find time and energy and extra nutrients in order to rebuild that adrenal gland. So this is one of the reasons why it's not an overnight thing. But I'll give you my personal experience. I had Candida from when I was born, I think. I had severe Candida in my ears, and it caused ear infection, and I've had that all of my life. It was around 3 years onto the program where my adrenal glands had got to a point where it could kill off or rebalance that in my ear. It took me around 1.5 years for me to release a big batch of copper, which also killed off a lot of Candida in the stomach. Copper is an antifungal, and the body uses it naturally to balance out a Candida overgrowth basically. And when we're copper toxic, what we have generally is something called biounavailable copper, which means that copper isn't utilized properly in the body. And basically when we run the program and we release copper, it releases from these storage tissues, goes into the stomach, and you'll actually feel the Candida die off. Definitely try and stay away from any people when you're doing that, because it can get a little bit smelly. But yeah, so yeah, it took me a couple of 1.5 years, 2 years to start balancing out my copper. It took me around 3 or 4 years until my adrenal glands were actually working at a level that was reasonable. It took me around 5 years for my adrenal glands to be pretty normal, but I'm not going to lie, and I'm in the same as all the other people in the Nutritional Balancing Program, I've still got work to do. I do know I've still got some heavy metals in my system, I do know I've still got some copper in my system, but I'm in a position now where I can live a normal life basically. But I know that if I go out and stress myself, if I do something that I shouldn't do over a prolonged period, my adrenal glands will weaken again and it'll come back, the Candida overgrowth. So you've got to do it over a prolonged period of time. That's the same with all hormonal imbalances, which is the second question I got about hormonal imbalances. And it's the supplements that you can take. Basically, I'm not sure if you're on a nutritional balancing program, but the program deals with hormonal imbalances, and the supplements that we recommend do multiple different things, from raising the oxidation rate to detoxing heavy metals to increasing thyroid metabolism, and you've got to kind of have that as a unit, and by doing that it kind of supports the adrenal glands. It supports the thyroid, it detoxes the heavy metals that are causing issues in the adrenal glands and the liver and the kidneys, etc., etc. And all this together as a unit is what increases the hormonal output of the glands within the body. So you have to do the nutrition balancing program as a whole. It's not really taking a supplement to increase hormones. It's a little more complicated than that. I'm kind of switching between questions here. The parasites thing, parasites came out for me quite early in doing coffee enemas, but I'd say quite early, a good 8 months, 9 months, even a year, 2 years. I'm not aware of any tests really that kind of show you the parasite load of the body, so I don't even know if I have any parasites left in my system anymore. But I think, if I do or not, I feel good at the moment. I feel much better than what I did. I feel energetic, I'm clear, I'm more confident. So even if I do have parasites, and I probably do in the liver, in the stomach, I'm pretty sure I do, and I do have more copper toxicity to come out my system, then I'm not really too concerned, because I'm just following the program. I'm not quitting anytime soon, so it doesn't really concern me. I just want to kind of go over what I've just mentioned, because I did speak to a guy yesterday and he was shocked. He was like, well, why are you still detoxing? How come you're not cured? Why are you still releasing heavy metals? It's like, people don't realise how much heavy metals are in the system and how long they've been there and how long it takes to get out. Dr. Wilson spoke to a practitioner that I know, and he was still releasing heavy metals 20, 30 years down the line. Some of these metals come from birth. He was saying that he spoke to one person and he says that he could get him on a program that gets rid of heavy metals in 6 months. I mean, that is a complete and utter lie when people are saying that. It's really disappointing to hear that. You're looking at least 2 to 3 years to get the bulk of toxins out of the system, which allows you to start feeling better. As time goes on, you'll feel better, but you still detox. I'm 6 years down the line. I still detox, but it's not an issue for me as much as it used to be. I know a practitioner that's 8 years down the line. They still detox, but again, they're saying to me, you feel even better. It's even less of an issue. I've been mentioning on my vlogs, I had testicular pain for the past 2 days. That's died down now. That's a detox reaction, but that's heavy metals coming out from that storage tissue that's very, very, very deep. That's what's good about nutritional balancing, and that's why Dr. Wilson talks about development, is because the nutritional balancing program, unlike other healing programs, gets so deep in the body. You know, we're really, really getting stuck in and releasing metals that have probably been with us from the womb. As I say, you know, Dr. Wilson writes in his articles, you're talking at least a decade to kind of rejuvenate the liver. I mean, if it takes a decade to rejuvenate the liver, then there's obviously a lot of toxins there that need to be released. Obviously, you were saying 20 years, 30 years is still releasing heavy metals. And we're getting an influx of heavy metals all the time anyway. You know, you can't do much about that from pollution, from other people's fabrics, from other people's aerosols. There's probably things around your house that you're unaware of that you're ingesting heavy metals. So I just wanted to clear that up. But yeah, it's difficult to me to kind of give you a ballpark answer on how long things take. It kind of comes down to how sick you are, how well you do the program, what your past experiences are, what your mental tendencies and personalities are. But I did make a video called the 2-year hump, which is what we talk about in nutritional balancing, and the 2-year hump is basically the 2 years in the beginning of the program where the most changes happen, the biggest detoxification happens, a lot of stuff comes out of the system, and then after that you feel better and better and better, and the detox reactions get less and less and less. But I hope that's answered your question for you. Another question is about Bitcoin and Ethereum. A guy from the UK talking about Trezor. Trezor's a cold storage wallet to keep your Bitcoins and your Ethereums safe on an external storage. He was saying it's quite expensive. Obviously, it's the best way of storing your Bitcoins and Ethereum because it's offline. However, personally, there's a lot of free wallets out there that you can keep on your computer, and as long as you've written down the private keys, the keys on paper, you don't have to worry about your computer getting stolen or hacked or anything like that. It just, you know, it's very, very secure. So if you just type in Bitcoin, Ethereum wallets, there's one called Armory. That's the safest one for Bitcoin. My Ether wallet is good. There's another one called Exodus, which I really like because it's kind of an all-in-one system. I personally think that that's pretty secure. Obviously, if you want super secure, get Trezor, but you've got to pay for it. Exodus is free. Exodus, you can store Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Golem, all these different things. You can also convert Bitcoin to Ethereum. You can send Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. So it's kind of an all-in-one system. It's saved on your computer, so it's not online, and also you can create a paper wallet backup, which is also extra secure, so you don't have to worry about your computer getting stolen or hacked or anything like that. Alright, so I hope that's answered all your questions, and I will speak to you soon. Keep the questions coming. Over and out. Bye.